Hello everyone and welcome back to another instalment of the Warwick F1 Show. It is the 75th anniversary of Formula 1 and the sport has marked the event by a special live event revealing all of the team's liveries before the 2025 season, or at least they would have done if two of the teams hadn't already been leaked. However, it was a very memorable evening, to say the least. First off, presenter Jack Whitehall made it his mission to pretty much roast every single person in the arena. We also had moments like Alpine having their DJ spend more time on the stage than the actual car. Gordon Ramsey, of all people, became the legend of all F1 fans. And it seemed like the only predictable thing that actually happened in the evening was that Red Bull turned up with the exact same car as they have done for the past 8 years. And so we are going to go through this on today's episode of the Warwick F1 Show. We're going to discuss all of these points and more. I'm your host, Callum, and once again, I'm joined by our Society President, Katch, and two of our returning guests, Daniel and Dennis. Thank you very much all for joining me today. First off, I just want to go around and get our general thoughts on the evening, because it is a new event that F1 are doing, and did it work? Was it actually something that should be done in the future? Are they actually going to do it again in the future, or is this just for the 75th anniversary of the sport? I don't know.
I really liked it, to be honest. I didn't come in with too many expectations. I was like, okay, this is going to be a bit of a chaotic evening. It's going to be very corporate. I think that's the word we've all used to describe it.
Corporate is a very good word to use. Yes,
it is.
But it was very fun. I will say the acts could have been better. They could have had more high-profile acts. I think having take that on was good, but it was right at the end. Like, by that point, we'd already all left our viewing. So
that is because security was trying to kick us out of Ramfell. So I think if we told them that Take That were on, then they might have given us an extra 5 minutes. But yeah, it did. They shouldn't have kept it right at the end.
Yeah, it was a good evening overall. I think on opinions of whether they'll do it again, no. Because for the pure reason that it's a special, because it's 75 years, if this happened every year, drivers would quit because of it. No, but I think Mohammed Ben Salah would actually bottle the whole thing. He would. Gordon Ramsay was not the icon of the night. It was Jack Whitehall himself. He started off immediately with tax avoidant jokes and slagging off Christian Horner and his wife. I'm sorry, you start the evening off with that, you're an icon.
We'll get into the nitty-gritty details in the end, but we'll get your guys' opinion first on the general evening. Dan, if we start off with you, what did you think of the night?
I think it's okay. I think it's a livery event, which I think having them all to come together and reveal it all at once, it sort of kills off a little bit of the hype of so for any other season, we would have waited for let's say around a span of 2 weeks for them to reveal for all of them. But now having all of them reveal at once, I think that's just that cuts off a lot of the waiting time of just waiting. Okay, how is it gonna look this year? But no, we just all have it in one night. It's all gone out to the public at once. So I think it's great. That part of it is great. What about
Daniel? What do you think?
I actually really liked it. I thought it was better than I was expecting it to be. There were aspects which were questionable, let's say, but on the whole, I think they did a good job. Catch on your point about it not happening again. I could definitely see it happening for, say, an 80th anniversary special or something. But what I would like to see is maybe moving it to a different location. I can definitely see them holding it in America.
Yeah, oh my gosh, it's such an American-coded event.
Exactly.
It has America all over, doesn't it?
It completely
does. That screams America.
Literally, but it is. I do, in a way that makes sense. Doing it each 5 years, having it be a big spectacle, could be quite cool. If they did it as, I guess they can't do it as more of a livery event. Maybe they'll have an event like this the night before the pre-season testing. Have here's pre-season testing, big launch event.
Partying in Barcelona or something.
Well, yeah, they did. James Vowles apparently had a big party afterwards, so.
Yeah, but he's just a party animal, that's why.
We love JV.
Anyway, we've spoken a lot about our presenter, Jack Whitehall, and I wanted to have a few moments just to talk about him. I thought he was brilliant. I thought he did a real, Ricky Gervais at the Golden Globes, just, trying to insult everyone possible, and that was all his act. I sometimes found it a little annoying. I'm not sure I would... that was like he was always hitting the mark for me, but I still think it was a really good kind of addition to the event. And you kind of had someone who was just generally a good presenter, and then you obviously had the other people who had more of a technical side of thing and had more experience in the sport compared to it.
Well, he was flirting with literally everyone.
He was flirting with Charles Leclerc.
Yeah, it was kind of.
He was flirting with Martin Brundle as well, of all people. So
fair enough.
Yeah,
I think I liked the fact that it was like a comedian presenter hosting it rather than predictably Crofty. I fully expected Crofty to be
where
hosting
was
it.
Crofty, by the way?
He was there.
Was he there?
He was just, like, right at the back.
Oh, okay.
I saw a photo
Did
of
we
his
actually?
Instagram.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We didn't actually see him on the feed as
Man
well.
wanted an actual break, which is fair enough.
That's completely valid.
Yeah, no, it was. I do think the choice of presenter was good. Having been to Live is so gonna fire him. But if he was ever hired in the first place, I think that kind of showed when they tried to do a special tribute or like a bit towards the end where they were like, oh, thank you to the volunteers, thank you to Pirelli, thank you to the FIA, and it was just booing. Like, everyone just booed the FIA.
Yes, that was... I haven't got that on my talking points, but that was... When that happened, I was like, completely fair enough, because obviously we've talked a lot about on this podcast about, especially from our recent news episode, of how these rule changes with swearing and all the different things that the FIA are trying to implement. So I did think that was quite funny. Thoughts on Jack Whitehall as a presenter? Would you have him back?
I would
have him back as well. I just think it's so on paper, like a livery event, it's just an event where like the 10 teams come together and then they pull open the curtains and then show the car how it's gonna look in 2025 or the upcoming years. So I think we need that comic relief to make the show slightly to make it on paper sounds a little bit dull. If I'm being honest, like it's just a show to show a car with some newer colors. But I think having him as a comedy element of the show, like it adds value to it. It makes it more fun. I
think it's like we were saying with the American aspect of it, where it's actually making it into a bit of a proper show. And I imagine it was really great for people who were able to go and see the live event. We should really have had Sienna on this podcast. She was lucky enough to go and actually see the event, and I bet it was brilliant for anyone who actually went to go and see it. We'll move on to so one thing that really stuck out to me is that the drivers got so you were saying that the teams got 7 minutes each for speaking or for presenting their car and their whole presentation, and I was just quite disappointed. I thought that the speaking times with the drivers and the teams wasn't great. It could have been more.
I think that depends really on your expectation of the event. If you think, sure, it's a livery event, but if the teams are given 7 minutes, they're not going to spend 7 minutes showing a car. They're going to spend 7 minutes. This is basically just a pitch for, hey, sponsor us, be a fan of us, like, this is our whole team. And just having the focus on the drivers wouldn't work, especially with all the controversy going on with the FIA at the moment. The teams will probably have a real chokehold on what the drivers can say and can't say. So I think if the teams gave drivers more than, like, the maximum 2 minutes in that 7 minutes, it would make no sense. From a PR point of view, it makes zero sense to give the drivers longer. The drivers don't want to be there. Like, they really don't.
That's a good point, actually.
So many better things to do.
They do not look like.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I think Ferrari was the only team that actually looked like they wanted to be there. Everyone else
Yeah, but
was
Hamilton's
suffering.
always just vibing, isn't he? Like, he is always just
Exactly.
wanting to be anywhere, and
But
that's
I
why we
think
love him. But
What shows is that... So, with the... I know this is, like, spoiling, but with the allocated time, Red Bull didn't have their drivers talk at all. And I think that, I'm not going to be wrong in making the assumption Max did not want to be there. Max did not want to talk. He didn't give an actual care in the world about this event. So they were like, okay, you don't talk then. You don't do any interviews. And I think that, in a way, makes sense for the drivers. They just go, they show their face, that's that. There's so many more events that they have to go to. These are just drivers in the end. They're not PR machines. They don't want to be doing all this fluff around the racing, so... I don't blame them for not wanting to have a big part in this.
Well, that is one of my talking points, that it was that neither of the Red Bull drivers actually spoke. And I hope that this isn't a result of what's been going on in the FIA. If this is what we're starting to see as a result of the FIA banning swear words or fining drivers from swear words, and that means that the teams are just going to prohibit their drivers from talking at all, then that's a real worry for me. But that is fair enough that I suppose they didn't want to be totally speaking all the time. I don't know, I just thought that, especially for Alpine, so Alpine's one that I wanted to mention, their DJ spent about 5 or 6 minutes on stage, and then the drivers came on and talked for about 30 seconds, and it just seems like, surely it's, I don't know, what do you guys think? It's what I've been waiting for to see, is these teams on stage, and then it's just, there you go, that's it, they're gone.
To be honest, I don't really mind that the drivers didn't get much to say, if I'm completely honest. I think that 7 minutes was for the team in particular. The drivers had their chance to speak. They had a press conference prior to the event, I think.
True.
So
yeah.
that was their time to speak and the questions to get asked. So I don't think that was the primary purpose of those 7 minutes. Also, I quite liked that it was only 7 minutes, because it meant that they didn't have the opportunity to get a spokesperson like Lawrence Stroll on the stage to talk for like 10 minutes straight and waffle about Aston Martin and Aramco Cognizant Formula 1 team or something. But
You don't have to use the official name of this podcast.
No, yeah, but that's what he says.
Like,
it's
yeah,
over
no,
and over
fair
and
enough,
over
yeah.
his corporate machine. So, yeah, no, I definitely think Alpine should have done something different. Like, I'm all for Brian Tyler. The F1 theme is a banger, but it didn't hit this time. Maybe it should have been a remix or something. I don't know.
Wait,
Are
is
we
that the name of the DJ?
it was Brian Tyler.
I had no
seriously?
idea who it was.
Yeah, it was.
It just looked
I
like
know.
a random DJ with long hair on
There was
stage.
like a graphic that popped up that said, "Are we dreaming?" Like that was the name of the DJ, but it wasn't. It was Brian Tyler. So
Oh.
Yeah.
I think what they could have done, so what Aston Martin that brought the car on while the performance was going on? They brought the car in the background. That's what Alpine should have done. Like, what did they do? Bring the car while it's all going on. Why are you waiting until the end of the DJ set to bring on your car?
I don't know. It's just a lot of. I just think it's a lot of fluff. Like the main reason, even though I guess that they do kind of have to spice it up a bit for the reasons that you mentioned, Dennis, because it is just showing off the liveries. That's what the fans want to see. Surely is the new liveries. The live event. I'm not going on to watch those like two back. I can't even remember the name of them. Like maybe take that, but I can watch them on YouTube.
No,
if not,
they need to justify the tickets. They need to justify.
that is true because you know that F1 were charging a lot for these.
£200 for.
To be fair, they weren't too bad actually, were they? I can't even remember what the ticket price
Okay,
was.
the original price wasn't too bad, but they were all just reselled. Like, they said that they wouldn't accept resale tickets into the event, but like most people went in on a resale ticket. That was a lot more than the original.
Yeah, but then
price
do you
they
just
sold.
then do you just use the strat of like giving over the phone, or like an actual burner phone?
No,
we probably shouldn't
we don't
endorse this on the
condone
podcast.
resale tickets.
No, we don't. But if you like theoretically, if you wanted to, then which you shouldn't, then you could do that.
Yes.
But anyway, that's not the point of this episode. What were we talking about again? Yeah, so speaking time with the drivers, how do we get onto this?
Because you brought it up.
Apparently. So yeah, maybe the right balance. I don't know. Maybe it didn't have to go on for a whole 2 hours then. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think definitely it's not something that they're going to want to go too much, because then it loses the specialness of it, I suppose. So we've already talked about Alpine spending more time on stage. Then we're moving on to Red Bull. So Red Bull I had a couple of interesting topics. Christian Horner actually got booed as well, which I think is completely fair enough.
Yeah, from Sienna, one of our exec members, was at the event, and she said, yeah, the boo Christian Horner was like the loudest. Like, I think the three loudest noises that were made were number one, Lewis Hamilton. Number
Booed?
two, no.
Oh, noises.
that
Okay,
were made.
thank goodness.
Lewis Hamilton being cheered, then
Yeah.
the Ferrari when it came out, and then the boos for Christian Horner. Like, that was apparently so loud.
Surely
like,
the FIA as well was like, you could, because I think
You could hear all of
Christian
it.
Horner, at least from the perspective of someone watching on TV, that seemed like a mix. But then I think the FIA one, like, I properly heard it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I thought that was interesting. And then obviously Red Bull not spending much time on, which I thought was a bit of a disappointment. But then yes, I understand that that Verstappen maybe didn't want to spend too much time talking. I did really want to hear from Liam Lawson though as well, because I think it's his first. Definitely one of his first public appearances in that Red Bull outfit, or in the race suit and with the team. And so I guess I'm gonna have to wait a little bit for that one. And then Gordon Ramsay being just, I think, turning into the hero of the night, I think, for me, because he had a few choice words to say regarding the new FIA speaking laws. I don't know what they're definitely not going to invite either of those two, Jack Whitehall or Gordon Ramsay, back. Yeah.
No, I think Gordon. It's not his first time being on.
Oh, certainly not.
It's definitely not.
He's not going to care.
Yeah, he's not gonna care. It's not his first time in a Formula One event even. Like I think Gordon Ramsay.
He's gone to racetracks before, hasn't he?
He's quite a consistent character in a Formula One circuit. So I think he, even within like the Formula One community, he has his fair share of like fan base. So, and again, he's sharing the opinion that the majority of people are sharing.
Oh yeah, you could hear. I mean, talking of cheers, I think cheer for what he said was quite loud as well, and I think he resonates that opinion resonates with a lot of F1 fans ultimately. So, I think yeah, that was certainly a highlight for me of the evening. Now we couldn't talk about the F1 live event without talking about the liveries, and we'll do that in just a second. But first off, obviously, the 7 minutes given to each of the teams wasn't just what they spent their time on looking at the cars. They also had some fancy intros that they were doing. And so I thought I'd go around first and get opinions on what were our favourite and least favourite intros, or the segments that each of the teams had, leaving out what we thought of the liveries. We'll get onto that in just a second.
Is anyone going to put Alpine anything other than bottom? Can we just clear this up?
I haven't. They're not in the bottom or top for the segment or
Really?
the cars.
No,
Yes.
I'm just on about the segment.
Segment.
Oh, okay. So for me, Alpine's
Oh,
easily
actually,
the worst.
no.
For me,
No.
Alpine, like, what are you doing? What are you doing with your life? Like, actually understand PR team. You did a horrendous job getting a new PR team. That's not
Now
even
that
a good
I-
look for
yeah,
Alpine.
Now that I think about it,
at all.
Alpine would be near the bottom. Okay, so you're
Yeah,
going
completely
Alpine
bottom.
To be
bottom.
fair, after here, I did not know the fact that the DJ was longer than the driver.
Oh, it was
I
way
did
longer.
not
I
know
saw
that
the
fact.
team go off. I was like,
Yeah.
"Are you taking the mic?" Like,
I felt it was long, but after hearing that, it might be my bottom.
Is
might
it your?
be- it might
Did
be.
you have another one in mind alternatively? or
Not really, to be honest. Yeah, okay. For me, Alpine
Alpine.
segment bottom.
Yeah.
Just the segment.
Yeah, definitely. Alpine.
You're
Alpine
going
segment
through.
is loud.
Can you stream
Yeah,
out? Well, I'm
What are you putting at the bottom?
Mercedes because they
What?
messed up the pit stop.
That's
Oh.
the only
Oh,
reason.
that is-
No,
That
but
was
it
embarrassing.
No, it isn't. No, okay, that's not the only thing. Like, I did think it was just really bland. Like now that you've reminded me of Alpine, it's very close to the bottom. But I just found that hilarious. The fact that they messed up one of the tires from a team that historically has been very good with pit stops. Actually,
Sorry, do you not remember Valtteri Bottas Monaco?
you make a good
Yeah,
point. I'm thinking of the
it's a
double
huge
stack in
turn,
China though as well, the
Okay.
iconic double stack in China. But yeah, that just stuck in my mind as well. Best segment? Anyone?
Okay, you've got to put Ferrari.
Yes, yeah.
The-
No,
the-
I
The
completely
aura
agree.
surrounding Ferrari this whole 2025
Not
so
just
far.
not just Ferrari, just Lewis Hamilton.
No, I'm saying Ferrari. The way they did it was really good. with
They
historic
were
cars.
interviewing. So the camera, I don't think the camera rarely panned over to just Charles Leclerc, and just when they were interviewing Charles and Frederic Vasseur, and you could just see Hamilton in the background just waving to the fans, and they were only focused on him. It's insane how much the hype and anticipation behind that man, which is fair enough because it's a huge thing for the sport. Are you also?
Yeah, it is a historical thing. Lewis going to Ferrari, and I understand the hype, honestly, but yeah, is it the best one for me? The segment wise, is the Ferrari one the best one? Because I'm trying to put away all the crowd hype away and just judge it as a segment.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
I'm not judging it on the crowd hype at all. I think the way Ferrari did it was incredible.
I actually
because
did-
they looked through the historic cars. I think
Yes,
that's
yeah.
that's why I put McLaren second.
yeah,
because of
McLaren's
going
up
through
there.
the historic.
McLaren actually put the cars out.
I also
They did.
really liked the tribute to Enzo Ferrari as well. I thought
Yes.
I thought it was done very nicely. So I think
That
that's
was
also
lovely.
why.
That was lovely.
If you're struggling to think of a best, a big fan popular one was the Aston Martin one.
See, I really didn't like the Aston Martin one. I thought
That's a wrong
apart from so okay,
That's
fine,
a wrong
right,
opinion.
I've been shut down. I'm
No,
no.
but it was a 007 like tribute. That's Aston
No,
Martin.
no,
That's
I
great.
loved the thing with the 007, and when they had just the music and it was like completely in blackness in the studio. I thought that was so good. But just the intro for me when they were riding on the boats, look so computer generated and cringe.
I think it had the budget of like a Bollywood film,
Yeah.
and the special effects of one as well.
Yeah.
To be fair,
No, yeah. So so that's why Aston Martin is near the bottom for me. But if they did the James Bond right, I think that could have been near the top. What were your thoughts? Best segment for you?
to be fair, I think Aston Martin was near the top just because of how bold it was.
It was very bold.
It was different,
yes, that is
I
a word.
think.
Yeah.
And the reveal. I mean,
Also, I didn't like that they brought a singer on first as well. I didn't like
she was
that.
incredible.
Yeah, but
She's
I just
so-
want to see the car.
she was in the way of the
They
car.
brought out the car alongside her. The car was behind
The
her.
car
Yeah, but
wasn't
the
focus,
camera
though.
was focusing on the singer, and I just want to see shots of the car.
To be fair, there was a lot of blocking throughout like the whole thing. Like, there was
Yeah.
just a lot of the trophy was in the way of Zach Brown's face and things like that, and the
Yeah.
drivers just didn't know where to stand. And it was a bit
Yeah,
awkward
it was-
at times.
It was quite awkward.
Yeah, but my favourite probably was the McLaren one. Just like you
I
said,
d-
because they put all the historic cars out. I was like, wow, which one are they going to try and emulate? In the end, it was last year's. Which is fine, because
Which
it
is
is...
not wrong if it ain't broke.
It's now-
Don't fix it.
It's now
I'm
iconic,
not
but-
sure. I think. Well, can I just say we'll get onto this before with the liveries, but you said the exact same thing when Red Bull brought theirs out. You're like, oh, it's the exact same thing again. And McLaren have done just that. I can't recognise the difference.
When you see my
between-
rankings, Red Bull and McLaren are both mid-table.
Oh, okay, that's fine. That's fine.
The Red Bull
Fair
car
enough.
doesn't look bad. I just hate the team, not the car.
Okay. Oh, right. So we're making that a part of the
Whoa.
rankings. Okay. Oh, that's
No, we're not. No,
by
we're not.
far the worst
No, we're
thing
not.
that Katch just said on this podcast. Yeah. So. Okay, no, that's fair enough. I think we can all agree with that. Definitely McLaren for me, even though I went with Ferrari in the end. That was definitely up there because of the going back to the heritage. And they actually brought on multiple cars, which we didn't...
I think they only got that privilege because they were the Constructors' Champion. I think if Ferrari were the Constructors' Champion, they would have brought on cars.
It will not just be on the screen. It'll be on.
Exactly.
It'll be hit there.
I think that is why McLaren brought the cars on, because they could.
They did bring on the Senna's old car, and for the very most split second, I thought, oh, it's the new McLaren.
I panicked. I was like, no, they've not, have they?
Imagine if they went back to the red and white. That would be insane.
Do it, not your full-time car, please. Not
Yeah,
the
do
full-time car.
you can do a tribute livery or something. But
Yeah, their tribute livery for Senna wasn't good, but...
anyway, but we should move on to the final and most important part of the episode, obviously, which is judging the liveries, because we now... I did mention in the episode we did get a couple of liveries leaked before the event, even though that was the whole point of the event.
Yeah.
But
Haas leaked their own livery before the event. They accidentally...
is that the photos from Silverstone?
So they did Silverstone showdown. So Williams and Haas and McLaren did events beforehand.
No,
McLaren did.
that's just because the livery was the same.
But Williams and Haas did events beforehand. Williams' livery was slightly different from the one they showed, but it was still very similar. The
Yeah, because
Haas
McLaren showed that
the Haas one was
special
the
one,
same.
which
McLaren had the camel
Yeah, they had the
one.
camel,
Yeah,
so they
yeah.
were running on
testing. They had
track.
the camel testing one.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
alright.
Which we
Which
have
was
differing
ugly as
opinions. No,
hell.
I really liked that. But anyway,
Ugly. But Haas, they had a video that they posted of for social media being like, oh, here's our livery, and they accidentally posted it before their team went on stage, so it was leaked part way through, which was very funny.
Yeah.
I think the Aston Martin one, I saw photos of maybe 20 minutes before they went on stage. So
That's
that one was also
okay.
leaked.
That's okay.
Yeah, it's
we'll
true.
allow that, but
But it was still leaked beforehand, which is a
Yeah.
bit of an L from the event.
But anyway, we've all formed our ranking of all of the liveries, and so we're all going to go through them now and compare. So we'll do the bottom 5 first, so 10 to 6. And yes, Katch, would you like to go first?
Okay, I was not prepared to go first. but-
Sorry.
Okay, so are we just going to run through our 10 to 6, no comments, no discussion?
No. You can comment a bit. Just take it easy though.
Okay, at the bottom's Alpine, I hate Alpine. Just in general.
The
No.
livery.
No,
The livery.
no,
Okay,
no,
livery,
no, no.
Alpine's 10.
No,
not joking.
We'll
no.
see
I'm not
in a
joking.
bit. We'll see.
I'm not joking, Alpine's 10.
Okay.
You guys are going to hate my rankings if you hate that. Oh my gosh. Alpine 10, Ferrari 9th,
Yeah.
State Kick Sauber 8th,
No.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
no,
Okay.
no.
Okay. No, fair.
V-Carb 7th,
No. Okay, no, you've just not done that.
and Red Bull 6th.
Oh, you have put Red Bull, who have turned up with the same livery since the dawn of time, above V-carb.
Yes, I don't like it.
What the?
Okay, it's grown on me, but if I did this ranking the moment the event ended, I would have.
Well, because you said this before. You said this during the event.
I have
and
reasons for my dislike of
seeing them on social media. I'm glad when I went on social media afterwards that my opinion was validated.
Yeah, I've
because
got the real wrong opinion.
You have got the minority opinion on this case, but fair enough. Yeah, that's very interesting. Right. Well, Dennis, you had some choice words to say about that, so let's go through your 10 to 6 ranking.
Okay, I would not allow Ferrari being less than Sauber. Okay, okay. First.
Oh, you're not gonna like my rankings
that.
then.
Okay, Sauber 10th for me. Sauber 10th.
Wow.
Definitely.
Okay.
Sauber is just 10th. It's
Just in general. We're not talking about liveries now. Just in general.
Yeah. And then 9th, I'll say Aston Martin.
I agree with that. No. Sorry, you didn't like the black carbon on the side.
It's still in my top half.
Really well. No, I agree with that actually because I didn't like the white bit on the top as well on the air intake, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
But like I didn't like that.
And then I
yeah.
think the Aramco on the side it's not even painted. It's just there's a black rectangular box in the side pod. Which is just
really?
Yeah, they didn't paint that part. It looked like they left out. They looked like someone forgot to
They're
paint that part.
carbon weight saving. What do you mean?
Yeah, but on
think
that
so.
part though, come on.
I mean, if you had
Yeah.
Lance Stroll as a driver, then yeah, you need every advantage that you
That
need.
is true.
So
yeah, but not the best, not as good as last year or the year before. I think, in my opinion, Aston Martin, they would never get a livery as good as 2021. Because
you have the racing, the British racing green. Just go with more of that.
Yeah.
That and a bit of carbon black. I think.
Yeah, they'll never go back
So
to
I
that.
think with your rankings, we've learned you've only said 2 teams and they're both green. Do you hate the colour green?
Do I hate the colour green?
Because you've
He
put
just
two
hates.
green
He just
teams.
hates Sauber. That's all that's going on.
I don't like green. No, I think green could work. It's
They just
not-
didn't do it well.
It didn't do it well. Like
That's crazy to me, the fact you've put Aston Martin below Ferrari's white, obnoxious thing.
Ferrari's done white numerous times in history.
Yeah, but the
and
blue
it
of the
always-
HP
Okay,
logo
right, what's your
really
eighth team?
doesn't.
I-
Okay,
don't
my
think
eighth
it's on
team.
yet.
My eighth team. Okay, we're gonna get to the ones that didn't change here. So my eighth team is McLaren.
What?
It just didn't change. It just didn't change.
Okay, so this is
Yeah.
when we'll have a discussion afterwards.
Yeah.
We'll have a discussion later on about
Yeah,
the
yeah,
opinions on non-changing liveries because I have words.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
I see. Well,
Yeah.
you could, viewers, you can, or listeners, you can look forward to that then later on in the episode. Continue, Dennis. Sorry.
I think I'm on the 7th.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
I'm on 7th. 7th, I put Williams. Again, they didn't change much.
That's an interesting
Didn't
opinion.
change much.
Didn't change much. I swear, no. Well, they had the darker blue on the nose, didn't
Did
they? I
It
think.
didn't change much, but does it look bad? No.
Yeah, but it didn't change much.
But it doesn't look bad.
It doesn't.
So
no,
you-
we're
so
doing
you-
this segment later.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
and then 6th Red Bull.
Yeah.
That's my
okay.
didn't change, but it doesn't look bad.
Yeah, that's fair.
the
There's a
one
balance.
for me.
Daniel, if you want to go next, I'm not sure if you can create any more controversy than we already have,
Well, to be fair, it's
but
quite
we'll
similar.
see how it goes.
Yeah, I share a lot with Dennis actually. So in 10th, I've gone for Sauber as well. They're just
Okay.
last where they should be. It's just it's just Floviz.
Jeez.
It's just a Floviz liver, isn't it? Just on the nose.
It is actually. So you make a good point, actually.
Yeah. Red Bull in 9th.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
No, that's an issue with that. Okay.
No debate. McLaren's in 8th. Just the
At
name change
least
is
you
pretty
put
low.
McLaren above Red Bull.
Well, it's a better looking car, yeah, of course.
It's
Yeah,
actually I
well,
actually have
would.
them below, but anyway, continue.
In 7th, we have Aston Martin.
Yeah. No, I think fair enough.
I agree
So,
about
similar, yeah,
the
similar.
box of Aramco.
Yeah.
It's a curse on the green.
Yeah, it didn't look right, did it? I don't
No,
think.
I quite like the silver box on the top though, on the roll hoop.
I thought it was. Oh no, on the.
Yeah.
On
Wait,
the-
is it
on
silver or
Aston
white? I
Martin.
thought it was white.
Silvery white.
Oh, interesting.
It's
Yeah.
no matter
Yeah,
whether
it's
it's
silver.
silver or white, it looks bad.
Didn't look in place for me, but anyway, no, fair enough.
And in 6th, Haas.
Wow,
Middle
Haas
of the
is-
road.
Okay, Haas is
What?
Haas
Sick.
is that.
Yeah.
Okay, explain to me why you don't like the Haas.
Well, I started off with it quite high.
Yes.
And then I thought, you know what? This happens a lot with Haas liveries when they come out. I look at them and I think, oh, that's clean, that's nice, I really like that.
Yeah.
And then the more I look at it and the more other liveries that I see, Haas just move down and down and further until they're below Ferrari.
That's crazy.
I know, I don't know.
Oh,
I just really, I do like the white kind of streaking along the
No,
side.
I really like what they've done there. Actually, that was a really
lovely.
And that's what we want. Like, if we'll talk about the keeping the same livery as before. But I think that's what I really like is just subtle changes, which like really make a lot of difference. I think. Right, I'll quickly go through my 6 to 10. Then we can maybe talk about the thing about keeping the same liveries because I can tell you are eager to get onto that. So, in 10th, Ferrari.
Correct opinion. Thank you very much.
I'm sorry.
I think we've got half of the podcast group that don't like the Ferrari, half the podcast that do. It's so bad. I'm sorry, Ferrari. You had so much good
Not
chances.
that bad.
It is
not
that
that bad.
To be fair, I think maybe it's because I was really hyped for Ferrari because we were like, okay, it's big moment. We're about to see Lewis Hamilton on stage in a Ferrari, about to see the new car. This is going to be a championship contender. And then you just saw it's weird because at the front we saw it was just all red and we were like, oh, this actually looks pretty good. And then you see the side and we were like, no, because they have that really obnoxious, terrible looking white HP logo, and that really just doesn't look right at all. I think for me, I think. All I want to see from a Ferrari is just the red colours and a bit of black and a bit of yellow. That works so perfectly, and HP have properly ruined it. So I think, that's why it was so far down for me, because I had a lot of expectation and they were shattered like that.
There are a lot of sponsors on that Ferrari.
Yes, no, thank you for reminding me that. That was the other thing I want to say. Lots of too many sponsors.
I agree. There are some that...
A
lot of words. Yeah. But I think there are some sponsors that fit much better than others. Shell, for example, the Ferrari, the yellow on the Ferrari suits the car.
Yeah.
VGN Play as well. I think there's a bit of yellow in that one. But then you've got the HP blue.
Yeah.
And it's like it's taking over. Last year it was just a circle of
Soon
blue.
it's going to be
And
an
now it's
entire white and
spreading.
blue car.
Stop it. Make it stop.
It's growing on me. It's growing on me.
It's grown on the Ferrari as well.
I think with this amount of logos, sure, there's a lot of sponsors on there, there's a lot of text, but at least the text is white. At least the text is nice. It kind of works.
It's not nice.
I don't mind it at all. I think the amount of sponsors is fine. It's just the HP. Like, I maybe it's a smart marketing move from them because we're now all discussing HP quite a lot, and it's not really for good reasons. But at least their voice is out there.
Yes, I'm sure when the Ferrari designers were thinking it was like we need them to talk about HP a lot on the Warwick F1 Show podcast. So I think
They got us.
Yeah.
They did.
I'm only on number 10. We'll have to move on. 9th I did put Alpine. It was okay. I like the side BWT is like bold pink. That's okay, but it's like just in general, pink and blue just never work for me as a colour scheme, I don't think.
See, for me, I don't like the Alpine because I think the pink doesn't work with BWT.
Okay.
I think that pink it's just pink onto the blue. It just looks bad. And if you look at the front of the car and the back of the car, it looks like it's two different designers that have both had to design the car and they've come together at the last minute to put it on. And their group project just doesn't merge together, it doesn't work. You've just got a solid line, like the halo is pink, and then suddenly it stops and where the halo connects to the body is blue. Put a gradient, put something there, make your group project work. Your group project does not work.
There we are. No, you make a good point
Don't
though.
like Alpine.
No, really, I did not expect that. 8th for me is Aston Martin. Again, I don't like the white bit on the top, and I think there's just not enough of the stuff that we all love, which is the British Racing Green. 7th, I've gone with steak. At first I did like the steak, but then I was like, it kind of like you were saying, Daniel, with Haas, it kind of it dropped down my rankings, I think. And also in the segment they had like the car pooping out green slime on the track for some reason as well. So that's not anything to do with the livery, but it just... And also, I really don't like how it's just... You mentioned, yes, put a gradient, but...
The gradient they did was bad.
Yeah, the steak one is all gradient.
It looks like a toy car.
Yeah.
It looks like a Hot Wheel car.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like a real car. It doesn't look...
I think the issue with the gradient is that it goes from green to grey to black. Like, the gradient isn't...
It's just not a good colour palette, is it?
It doesn't go through phases of dark green to black. It goes through phases of grey. What are you doing? Again, like, I could design a better car.
Yeah,
Come
the
on.
car does look like it's designed by a 6-year-old. I'm on a piece of paper.
Yeah. They said,
it
oh yeah,
doesn't
our
look
colour
like
scheme
it's
is bright green and black. Have fun.
6th was then for me McLaren. Purely on the... I think they've actually made it worse than last year's car with the little kind of like dark blue bits they've added to where the side mirrors are. But I really do like the livery from last year, but they made it that slight bit worse, and also because they didn't, that's the only change they made in it, and it has made it worse. So that goes on 6th for me. And bringing us on to what we'll briefly discuss as a improvised talking point, which is teams keeping the same livery, because we're only ranking liveries. We shouldn't really be taking into account the fact that teams who might keep the same livery so often, like Red Bull, for example, but that will inevitably come into our discussion. So are you wanting to say, do we think that teams should change liveries at all?
So, I've seen this opinion online, and I kind of agree that it's F1-75 Live. It's a big event. You would expect teams to change liveries for a special event, and for such a big year at F1, 75 years of F1, you would expect like bigger changes. And I completely agree with that. But if your livery, for let's say the case, Red Bull, we all know they were always going to keep the same livery, that sort of shot.
Yep.
But let's say with the case of McLaren, sure, livery's not changed much. But is it bad? And why does that make your opinion of that livery worse? You're not then looking at the livery as an objective. This is the 2025 livery. You're looking at it as oh yeah, this is the livery, but it's the same. Like, why do you have that condition on the same liveries rather than liveries that completely change? Like,
I didn't say that the livery was bad. I just say that the changes they did made it worse.
So
which is that bit
why are you looking at the changes? Judge the livery on the livery it is. Why are you comparing it to the
but
livery
it's made the
before?
whole thing worse.
No, but I'm saying ignore the change. Ignore the worst.
You can't ignore the change. It's part of the livery.
But if we have a completely new livery, then why are we... Like, I don't get that. I don't know. I just think if the livery looks good, even if it's not changed, and we'll see that in my McLaren ranking. It's on my top half. Like, the livery still looks good. Why does it have to be ranked low then?
But this is the point. Okay, for me, I completely get the point that you're making, which is you shouldn't judge a livery on how good it or on whether it's a replica from last year. I completely agree, because if a livery is good, why stick with it? And that's why Red Bull is still in my top half, because even though yes, they do repeat the same livery over and over again, it's a really nice livery. With McLaren, it's that low down just because they have made the entire livery worse. I think with that addition to the side wings, I think it really, because it's something that's completely out of the colour pattern of that original car, and they've only had it in a single place, and to me it just looked really odd. So I get what you mean, but McLaren's just down there because it's bad.
Yeah, I put McLaren in 8th just because I didn't really like the livery last year either. I think from the top down, it has too much carbon. From the side, it's fine. You know, you can see the kind of slice of papaya coming across the car on the side pod. But the I don't know, just the
weight
points.
saving that.
yeah, exactly.
It's good.
I guess.
It's like 0.001 second a lap.
Yeah, but were they constructors champion? Yes. So
Not by
No,
0.001
yeah.
second.
they could have been.
Yeah, no, I think the carbon in McLaren works for me. I do like how the orange and black contrasts. Like I've always liked that livery.
So if you like it, why is it 8th?
Because it didn't change.
But then I think that's what I have an
Going in
issue with.
circles.
Like, you're saying that you like the livery, and we're doing a livery ranking, so we're not doing a change
Moving on,
ranking.
The
we're not doing a change ranking.
The main thing you do when you judge how good a livery is more comparing it to last year.
Okay, maybe I haven't compared any of these to last year.
We've just
I've
had
looked at
different
them objectively.
interpretations of the thing.
Yeah.
Differential opinion. the special livery they released, I would actually prefer them to
That's
have that
such
for
an
this
awful
season
opinion.
Which
than
one?
the current one
The
that they
camo.
have.
Camel.
That
oh
camo
no,
disgusting
no. Okay,
vomit
okay,
thing.
maybe not that day. Maybe not that.
Okay,
maybe
never
not that.
I genuinely think that.
Is it not just because of the sponsors though? With a camo livery, the sponsors are pretty concealed, and there's just too much. You can't really make them out clearly.
I think so.
That's what
But
I've
I think
heard
I
anyway.
do think in a way, unlike what you were saying with certain sponsors, like you mentioned the Shell one for Ferrari. Apart from that, I think sponsors can really ruin a car.
But
Like
I-
genuinely.
Yes, but with the camo livery specifically, it just looks like there's no cohesion to it. Like on the front,
Yeah.
the front wings,
It hurts
even
my
by
eyes.
itself.
It hurts my eyes.
Can
to
I-
look at.
completely
It hurts
hurts
to
my
look
eyes.
at. I'm not gonna.
It's
the
all just
camel
so
one.
random
it's
all
meant to
over
be-
the place.
Ah,
There's
that's
no
a
form.
really nice though.
But it's not meant to have like an intricate design. It's meant to be a test for like one day.
Yeah.
The livery is meant for like one day for testing. It's supposed to look like
Flover's paint's gonna be
like
interesting.
that.
Like,
It's
oh, we
supposed to
could
look
like.
nothing. It's not
It
supposed
says
to look like
some paint,
anything.
some weird aerodynamics. Oh no, it's just the livery of the car.
Okay, if this livery was on your top 10 list, where would you put it?
Interesting. I would put it.
Because you seem to love it so much.
Might break it into my top 3. You know, I actually
What?
really
That's
like
outrageous.
That's a crazy opinion.
it. No, I
Okay, now
think
we know his opinion on the liveries are bad and we shouldn't listen to his opinion.
I would go. I think it would go in. Yeah, 3rd or 4th for me. I think. I'm
No.
gonna say.
I'm not going to
Genuinely.
spoil
No,
who that's
no.
above, but
It's
yeah,
not even
no.
meant to be a livery to judge. It's not even meant to be like a.
It's not
Yes,
meant
why are we
to
even
be.
talking about
Yeah, why we-
Anyway, we'll go on to because we're already at 40 minutes. We'll go on to our top 5. So, Katch, as you went first for your bottom 5, if you want to go for your top 5 as well.
Yes. So, just in case people have forgotten, VCarb is not in my top half, and I'm the only one who has put VCarb on my bottom half. So I guess we'll have a discussion about them later. In 5th, I have put Aston Martin because we've had discussions on British Racing Green. Sure, it's kind of reduced, so that's why it's not. I think last year it was my top 3, but this year it's gone down to 5th because they've removed some of the British Racing Green. In 4th, I've put Mercedes because it's good livery. This is where the liveries are all good. I really like them all from the top 4.
Apart from okay, I was going to say apart from Alpine.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
last,
yeah,
obviously,
yeah.
it's bad.
Okay.
No, but from the top 4, I like them all, and this order could joggle around a little bit, bar first. But
Okay.
yeah, the Mercedes, it's good, it's classic. They've just had, I preferred their all black livery to their silver. Like, the silver's nice, but the Mercedes all black was the best for me.
Yeah, I can agree on that. Yeah.
Yeah. In 3rd, I've put McLaren because it ain't wrong. It's a great livery. Sure, it didn't change much, but I'm not going to complain. It's a great livery. It's,
So you're saying there's no bias in that opinion at all.
no, but it's a better livery objectively than the ones below it.
Okay,
I don't care that it's not changed. I'm not bothered. It's just. It's
I'm not talking about. I'm talking about. I'm talking about. I'm
livery.
talking about being objective. That's fine. Yeah, yeah.
I'm
Okay.
very objective. I don't know what you mean.
Says the McLaren fan.
McLaren's not first. If McLaren is not first, is it not? Don't worry, your guys' rankings have pulled down the average, so not salty at
That's
all.
true.
Okay. Keep it
In
going.
2nd, I've put Williams because I
I'm happy with that.
loved it. Apart from the blue on the front is a bit too dark for me. It looks a bit black in some lightings. I think if it was a slightly lighter blue, just like 1 or 2 hue hex things above, it would be nice. Very, very
What the hell was a hue?
But it would be, yeah, but it is like gorgeous, nice blue, and especially with the white suits as well, that whole package.
Yes.
This is where the top 2 stand out to me. With the whole package, it works.
We should mention as well, I think, that we haven't actually seen, well, a lot of the cars we haven't actually seen on track in daylight yet, which is the scenario we're going to be mostly seeing these cars. We've only seen them at this live event and maybe some, and obviously some kind of designer images. So I think the rankings could maybe change up a little bit when we actually see what they're like out on track. But yeah,
Yeah.
we're not going to do an update of that.
And then my number 1 is Haas, because
Wow. Okay.
I
I'm
really
surprised. I know
liked
the
it.
Haas is quite nice, but that's very high up.
So my reason for that is that it's all just coherent. It all just makes sense. They've got their scheme of red, white, and blue. Their main title sponsor, MoneyGram, is white and red. They've got the exact shade of red in the Haas logo that the MoneyGram logo uses. They've got that exact shade of red in the little details that they use. It all just comes
It
together.
it does quite yeah.
It's just so classy and it's nice, and especially with the race suits as well, it looks professional. They look like they mean business, and I love that.
I'm happy with that. No, I did really like the Haas livery. Dennis, your top 5. What have you gone for?
So, my 5th place is V-Carb.
Oh, okay. So slightly finer, not as high up as mine, but obviously a lot higher
because
than Katch.
because
Mine was
it's
only
just like
7th.
Okay.
last year they went for the whole Toro Rosso direction, and then they just immediately killed it right this season. I feel like that's a big missed opportunities. Like I think the Toro Rosso like metallic blue with a bit of red on it. I think that's great. I think that's one of the best liveries in history. I think like that. I think it works. It works so well as showing that okay, we're kind of like Red Bull, but we're not like Red Bull. We're kind of like a second team. We're not as.
I mean, it doesn't matter what name they give themselves. Everyone knows that it's just Toro Rosso.
It's the second team, but this one, I feel like this year it's just a straight copy of Red Bull's livery, but then we paint all the dark blue bits white, which is.
Well, it's actually similar to. Do you remember that special livery that Red Bull had? It's pretty much like that, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's the second thing I'm not too happy with. It's that because V Cup has the white Red Bull livery now. That means Red Bull themselves can never have that like the one back in 2021. I think that's one of the best Red Bull liveries. Like the red, the white. With a little bit of yellow, that's the best looking.
I mean, their official livery for Red Bull isn't going to change anytime soon.
Yeah,
so I think they weren't too disappointed to let.
Yeah, but I think
V-Carb
because
have that.
V-Carb has the white one, they can't really do a special livery on that anymore. I think that killed. I was waiting for that livery to come back.
At this point, Red Bull have just fired all of their designers for their livery because they just copy and paste. I think from the previous year.
To be fair, I think Red Bull. Going to the point that where like copying liveries doesn't change over years. I think for Red Bull, for some reason for me it works, because you look at that Red Bull, that Oracle Red Bull that's from 2022 onwards, and you know okay that's the fast Red Bull, that's the really really good Red Bull that wins a ton of races, and then I think they've established that livery as an image as itself. To be so like recognizable and iconic that anybody can see that Red Bull. Okay, that's the fast. They will get reminded of like 2023 how they win like almost every race. Yeah. So I don't mind that Red Bull livery. That's why I don't. But I think V-Carb killed the special livery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your 4th place.
My 4th place is Mercedes.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, kind of missed the red. The red bit.
That's
on the,
true. Yeah. Where was the Niki Lauda red
the
start? Yeah.
The red bit on the air duct bit. I kind of missed that.
That was quite nice.
They had it for a while, and now when I saw the livery yesterday, I just think something's missing. Something feels off. But other than that, I don't know. It doesn't look too different from last year. Well. Last year's livery.
They've gone with similar patterns, I think, throughout the years of like the.
But it's not even really my favorite one either. I think any livery before.
Well, we're getting into your top 3 now. So what was put above the Mercedes?
Okay, on top of Mercedes, I got. I would say Ferrari.
Oh wow, Ferrari ahead of Mercedes.
Yeah, it is. I think it works. The white works. Well, Ferrari always had white on their livery.
I think it was the blue that did it for me. But
but I think I've been stuck with it for the entirety of last year, pretty much. And I think at this point I don't really mind it.
You've just gotten used to it.
I've gotten used to the HP being with Ferrari now, so it doesn't hurt my eyes as much. Okay, and then second place is Haas. I think the same reasons as Katch said. It works beautifully.
Nice subtle change.
All the colours work together.
Very
so
clear
good,
pattern.
so beautiful.
Sorry, I've just clocked that means you put Alpine first.
I did put Alpine first.
What?
No
That's
way!
crazy.
How have you kept this silent?
No, compared to last year's review, where like they review like carbon, just a car, just.
So you're saying add
unpainted
more
car.
ugly paint is better than less ugly
It's not
paint?
more ugly paint. But yeah, I think Alpine's one looks great. It went back to like the concept with like enough blue, enough pink. I think it looks. It's not a car. It's not a car, unpainted car of just carbon fiber. It has some color on it, and I think a lot of teams need to learn from that.
Wow, you're in this serious minority with that opinion here, mate. I gotta be honest.
Yeah, and I think it's not their best livery in history, but I still think it's okay. It works.
Okay,
It
we're
works.
gonna have to move on from this.
I think
Shambles.
I think the Alpine discussion isn't gonna stop.
No,
It's
we're
gonna keep
we
rolling.
could go
We'll
on for
see.
days.
Yeah,
If you
we'll
want,
see depending on what Daniel says.
if anyone wants to see a live stream of us talking about the Alpine, just in general, actually, for like 3 hours
Alpine.
live, then let us know in the comments. But until then, Daniel, if we do your top 5.
Okay, let's see how far we can get without mentioning Alpine. Ferrari is 5th for me.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Yeah. I really like the dark red that they've gone for this time.
Yes.
It's
yeah.
not scarlet so much anymore. It's kind of crimson, kind of blood red. I really like that. They're out for the blood of their
No,
competitors.
No, I can.
Grrr.
Yeah.
I like that. But the HP ruins it, and it's on the rear wing as well, which we haven't quite mentioned.
Yes, the rear wing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That I don't like as well.
IBM on the back of the rear wing as well. Did you see that?
I did not.
Yeah, it's more blue on the rear wing.
Oh, just if it's more blue, then no.
I think, Bill Hewlett and Dave Packard might be ashamed of what their company has done to Ferrari. I think.
Yeah.
But in 4th, Mercedes.
Okay.
So I think Mercedes are having an identity crisis with their liveries.
They're just having an identity crisis in general. What do you mean?
Yeah, they are.
Yes, they are as a brand identity.
No, I love the black.
Any of the old one is good.
The black is
Okay.
good, but yeah, like identity crisis with the liveries. I do agree.
Yeah, silver. Black in 2020 and 21.
I remember when they first came out with the black livery, and I was like, oh my
yes.
god, that looks
It
insane.
looks insane. That's
Yeah.
insanely clean.
Then they went back to black for 23, then silver to black for 24, and now they've kind of done silver to black and this grey, and I think.
What they do is they just put random amounts of silver and black in a tin, just mix it up, and then just throw it on the car. And they're like, yeah, that's good enough.
It must do. I just think it looks a little bit messy, to be honest.
Oh, fair enough.
You've got little random black bits in between the Petronas green and the silver, and I think it just gets in the way.
Yeah,
We need more of a clean line between those two colours.
So what does that put in your top 3 then? What have we got?
Right, heading on to 3rd, we have the Williams car.
Okay, no, I think I'm happy with Williams as being high up.
The
Alpine
teams-
is in your top 2.
Don't
What
worry,
is
don't
going
worry.
Wow,
on?
I'll get
I'm
to
really
that.
surprised that Alpine has gone this high.
Don't worry,
Well-
my ranking and Callum's rankings are dragging it down. We're all
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
Just about the Williams car, I think a lot of teams have tried for something bold, and I don't think all of them have paid off this year. I think there are some quite messy liveries in the field, but I like the Williams because it's clean, it's consistent, apart from the gradient, of course, but it just looks refreshing. It just looks like, crisp.
Yeah.
I think
glass
it's
of
maybe
water.
what we were saying with Haas as well. Like it's what they've done is what a lot of teams have tried to do, which is try and change it up a bit and go for something a bit different. Especially because maybe because the launch event as well influencing that. But Haas have done it really well, and I think I do agree that Williams have done it really well as well.
Okay, second place.
Second place.
Wait, should I do first?
No,
that
do
we
second.
Do second,
Oh,
do
okay,
second.
All right. V-carb.
No, no, not because of VCAR, but Alpine.
Oh my god.
Alpine on 2 first
Look.
places.
Right, I'm going to have to explain V-carb first. I think it's really bold.
Yes.
I definitely agree with the Red Bull special livery from Turkey 2021.
Yeah.
I really like that one, which they've
He
kind
has
of...
to be back, but he's not going to be back.
Yeah, but Callum was right with Red Bull's liveries.
Yeah.
People who expect Red Bull livery to change are like Ferrari fans. They're just like, next year is our year.
I
We're
was
going to
not
have a new
surprised when
livery.
that same Red Bull car. They,
Yeah,
may, they may
exactly.
as well have just turned up with the 24 car, frankly.
Pretty much, yeah. But I really like the touch of Red Bull yellow and red
Yes,
on the
yes,
V-carb, nose
absolutely.
cone, roll hoop, and also the little blue balls at the back creeping forward, racing balls.
I
in the
love
name,
them.
right?
So, okay, yeah. Can I actually comment on the V-carb livery now?
Sure.
Because it's obviously right down for me. I would love it if the Red Bulls on the top and on the front were blue. Because at this point, yeah, we know you're Red Bull, but like, do you want to actually have a different identity, or are you just trying to be Red Bull again? Like, if the little racing...
They're trying to be Red Bull, frankly, because that car is fast.
It was fast. No, but if the little racing bulls, the blue racing bulls, if the top and the bottom, if like the front wing stuff, if that yellow was blue, that'd be great. Just the whole thing is a bit of a mess design-wise. They have so many different colours on it. Their main colour's white, sure, but then the next colour you notice is the red and yellow, not the blue, and you're meant to be a blue main team. And then the overalls are white, but they have the green stripes because of the Katch app. Like, where's the green on the car? If you're going to be coherent. Like, stop using half the rainbow. Like, actually come up with a colour scheme.
My rankings will disagree with that.
I know it will. I don't like
but
that.
Alpine first, then.
Yeah.
If you want to just quickly say why, because we talked a lot about Alpine already, but why
Right.
first place as well is very surprising.
Yeah, so I'm quite a simple guy. I saw this car when it rolled out on the F1-75 launch, and I thought, that looks like a happy car. It's bright.
That's because it's something that a child would design.
Playful. Exactly. It's not too bad. It's playful. It's got a shine to it. It's kind of like metallic colour, you know, the shine off of it. I think I was a really big fan of Racing Point's 2020 livery, the full pink one. And when Alpine have done the full pink livery as well, I've loved that. I just think it looks so good on a racetrack, especially under the lights. Just the pink just
More
pops.
More pink.
It pops so
I'm
much.
hearing what you're saying, but none of it's
And
going
then
in.
from
I gotta say.
from the front of the new Alpine, it looks like the full pink Racing Point. A little
But
bit of
it's
black.
not.
No, I know
so
it's
wait,
not.
so
The
can I
illusion's
can I
nice.
just clarify? So your top car is Alpine in brackets from the front. Is that what we're saying?
No, because I like the blue as well.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it could have
Interesting.
been blended more, but I just like the
Right.
integration.
Well, we won't talk about. We've talked about Alpine. We've talked about Alpine too much today. So, they've certainly done a good job in the advertisement front. So I'm gonna I'll quickly go through my top 5 because we've already talked about a lot of the teams. So. Red Bull, I do really like the livery. Red Bull's fifth for me. I do really like the livery, but again, I do wish they changed it up a bit more. But it's still, I think, quite an iconic livery. 4, I've gone with Haas. We're kind of getting to the ones that I do really like now. I do like what they've done with the name at the side with changing it to white, and I do like how they've gone, as we mentioned, with the consistent colour pattern. Williams in 3rd. Very nice livery, as we said. Maybe too much of a darker blue on the front. And then 2nd for me was the V-carbs. I can actually try and say the name because that is what they were getting everyone to do in the live event. Visa Cash at Racing Bulls. I thought it was Visa Cash at Red Bull. I can't lie.
No, it's Speed Racing Bulls.
Oh, okay, right. That's news to me then.
Yeah,
but
you don't look at the FIA accreditation sheet when it comes
what
out then.
the hell? Who does that?
Me?
Apparently. Yeah, so that was in 2nd for me. I really like that livery. I love the white in it, and I think I know you said that they've got a lot of colours on it, but they just work for me. I don't know, like the yellow and the red and the blue with dark blue with the white. I think just looks really clean and nice, and that I really appreciate as well because they've gone with something completely different. All right, yes, they did have the same colour design on the special Red Bull, but they've gone with something completely different, and I really appreciate what they've done. And then first for me was actually Mercedes. I was very surprised that you guys especially put it with the Ferrari, judging that my Mercedes is first and Ferrari is 10th. But it's quite similar to what they've done before, and I think it would look even better if they did keep a little bit of red on it as well. But I just love what Mercedes have been doing recently with the black and the black touches of silver as well, and then the really nice green color. I think that's a really nice green color, and it's just kind of woven throughout. And I think it personally for me. I know you said it looked a bit messy, but I just think that's a really nice clean finish. Which is good because, as I mentioned, I thought their segment was the worst. And I think I didn't realise until actually seeing in photos afterwards how good the Mercedes was. I didn't actually see much of the car in their segment, or at least much of the side of it.
I think not a lot of my issue, but something that interesting Mercedes have done is, each of the teams, like after the cars are released at the event, upload 4K photos of their car.
Yes.
And it's just like their car in a studio. Mercedes have their car in a studio with a bunch of lights around it, so you can't actually see the car. Like, no photo of the Mercedes without any fancy laser lights is there. Because they just have the laser lights to cover how mid it is.
Maybe we're gonna get to the testing and we're gonna be like, wait, is that Mercedes? I didn't remember that car being there. Right, well, we've discussed a lot on this episode. Definitely very surprising. But finally, we're going to go to our rankings. And this is, of course, the undisputed universal opinion of all F1 fans ever of the ranking of the liveries that we've just done here. No question about it after this episode, apart from the 3-hour-long debate that we mentioned for Alpine. But yes.
So I'll go from 10th to 1st of, like, saying what the ranking are for the teams. So in 10th, we have no surprise. It is Steak Sauber.
They can't even get off of the bottom with the liveries.
It was just a bit bad. In next is 9th was Aston Martin. So you guys really dragged down that ranking.
I think it's because none of us had that at the bottom. I think everyone just put it as really mid. I think that's
mid
why.
was the
Just
bottom.
like green cars.
Yeah, just like green cars.
That's
True.
it.
Don't like
That's
green cars.
Apparently.
In 8th was Ferrari, because we hate the HV. In 7th was Red Bull.
Interesting.
Again,
McLaren
mid-half.
overall. Why, that's because
That's
you've
pretty
dragged
bad.
McLaren
That's
up.
pretty bad. That's pretty bad.
Yeah, and you guys dragged Alpine up, so
That's a
proper.
good point, actually.
McLaren are only just ahead in 6th.
Okay.
So we're basically saying that out of all the liveries that haven't changed, McLaren is the better one, which is the correct opinion.
Oh my god.
So, hey, this is just statistics. This isn't my view. This is statistical, the undisputed
Do you
list.
want to be invited back onto this podcast?
You said it was the undisputed list. So.
It is. No, that's very true.
Thank
That's
you.
very true. And McLaren is in the bottom half.
Sadly, Alpine is 5th. We have
Okay, we really have dragged it down then.
we dragged it down as we should because it
Yeah.
does not deserve to be in 1st. In 4th is VCarb. So
V-Guard
I
deserves
think
more
that's
than that.
probably because I dragged it
Yes,
down.
you definitely did.
But I still have an opinion, which I'm standing by. In 3rd is Williams, because decent car. And then joint 1st is Mercedes and Haas.
Oh.
So basically, Callum made Mercedes go joint 1st, because we were all on Haas being pretty good, well, apart from Daniel. And then, yeah. So I think we need to decide whether it's Mercedes or Haas that is the top one, because we can't have a joint 1st best livery. That's impossible.
It's
Yours
Mercedes.
is obviously Mercedes. Mine is Haas.
Mine is Haas.
Mine's Mercedes.
No, I'm happy to say. So Mercedes messed up the pit stop, so it's Haas in
Let's
first.
go!
Congratulations. So that is the undisputed list. It's been a long episode. We've had a lot to discuss about the new liveries, and we hope you enjoyed our discussion on it. We'll, of course, have more podcast episodes coming out. We've got the winter testing coming up soon, which will be very exciting, finally seeing all of these liveries out on track. And we shall also have, of course, our preview for Australia when we get going in Melbourne in just a few weeks' time. But that's all from us in the studio. Thank you very much, Katch, Dennis and Daniel, for joining me. I've been your host, Callum, and until next time, goodbye.